something about this project in particular, because on the surface, like if I just heard what it was, I'd been like, oh, okay, so like one of the main characters is in the superhero show is an obese black lady. Why? Oh, okay, so she's the daughter of that. Okay, but like that character who's like a lesbian obese person of color stuck right in the middle of this thing. I think on the surface I might have looked at that like, they're being real woke here. Okay, this is going to be just like that Watchmen series they made. But I watched it, and she became one of my. Oh, that was trash. But I just want to say she became one of my favorite characters in the show. I liked her a lot. She became she's funny. She's like a great actress, and I dug it a lot. And they didn't have a moment where like she used her like angry black woman strength to win the day, because I feel like that's a trope that we're subjected to now, that like angry black women are extra strong or something. But like I know that like Loki,
I don't watch superhero movies, so I haven't been hit with that. I don't know.
Well, it turns out that Loki, the god of mischief, his kryptonite, angry black woman, can't deal with it.
Well, he should be
a person or whatever. Or
they have to be overweight though.
He should be impossible to trick. Loki, isn't he the trickster?
He is the god of tricksters, mischief.
He'd be impossible to out mischief.
No, she puts this like slave collar on him and like kicks him in the ass and like, you know, down the hallway and stuff, and generally beats up on him with like a club.
Loki is great.
Does she have powers?
No, but she's got that collar.
Oh, is it
Loki? Loki was great. They that's how they introduced the multiverse into the MCU. Like
that and WandaVision. Yeah, I love Loki. Yeah. I like it a lot. I'm mostly teasing about that, but no, I couldn't get down with the Watchmen show. And I really like
what?
Like
you didn't like Jeremy Irons as Adrian Veidt?
I didn't like that they took Jeremy Irons as Adrian Veidt / Adamandius or whatever. Like the smartest man who's ever existed. But he's been fooled and he's been stuck on this planet. They use him like he is the old white man. He's the he'd been there for 30 years like a bitch.
He chose that, and the whole point was like he got bored of his own create. I don't want to spoil it for people.
That's fair.
Show, but they didn't trick him to be on that. And like that the soundtrack.
You know, when they brought him back, like even he was tricked, right? She froze him into that statue thing.
That wasn't a trick. That was I feel like you need to rewatch it because I don't think you got your facts straight, Kyle.
I might, but it seemed to me that like he went through that overly complicated mode of getting off that like moon or whatever. And
he did that to preserve his body. It was like the carbonite. It was like they didn't trick him. That was just to keep his body intact as he made the trip back from Titan or whatever.
But the only way that he could signal that he wanted to come back was with all those bodies and that like really complicated thing to send the SOS. But then she wasn't going to come pick him up because of that, because she doesn't care about him. She went to get him to like frame him up for the whole global like evil she was doing, right?
No,
that's how I remember it.
No, go read this.
No, there was a lot of rap music. It was hard to pay attention.
Fucking what's his name? Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the soundtrack to that one. It was fantastic soundtrack too.
I'm teasing about the soundtrack. Right.
I told you I was gullible. I fucking told you.
Well, I don't remember it that way. I just remember him being like, she froze him into that statue at the end. He didn't want that, did he? He didn't want to be like frozen into carbonite.
They were transporting him. But
he thought they were going to thaw him out when they got there, and he was going to be like in charge. Instead, she's like right at the last minute, she thaws him out, and he's able to foil her plans. Right?
No, Kyle, he's right. Now that he's saying this, the show makes more sense.
Because thank you, I appreciate that.
I've never seen it.
I thought it was great. It was Damon Lindelof. He's written a bunch of stuff that I really did. He did The Leftovers, which is like one of my favorite shows of all time.
Weren't the villains like the Klan?
They were kind of like like a Neo version of the Klan, and they idolized Rorschach, who in the book or in the graphic novel, Rorschach is not supposed to be like a hero. He's like a full-on fascist, but in the Zack Snyder movie, he ended up being kind of like a hero. Like one of the sympathetic characters, but the show is a little bit more faithful, I think, to the source material. But yeah,
I don't know. It's just that I felt like it was too woke for me. I think maybe I'm just overly sensitive to that, but I couldn't enjoy it because of that. I watched it all though. I thought the special effects were great.
I don't have the woke allergy, I guess. Like
you'll get there.
But, I like the way you phrase that because I'm kind of with you. Like I'm usually the guy that defends that one freaking scene in Endgame where all the girls are together. It was 15
I
seconds.
fucking hate that scene personally.
Look, I didn't let that scene
Captain
ruin my
Marvel-
movie.
She didn't need their help. Like they show up and they're like, oh, she's not alone. Like we can do, we'll help her. And you got all these like the woman characters like fighting, and then Captain Marvel just does her Superman charge and just plows through all all of Thanos' henchmen. Like she
could have flown over the top of them. She could have burrowed through the earth to where she wanted to go.
But
like
the spirit of that scene was good. I mean, like like if you take a little girl to go see that movie, I'm sure that would have meant something. So I mean,
Why
like
would I do
that
that?
scene wasn't for me. But I realized that I wasn't the intended audience for it.
Some people like flipped out about that scene, and I'm like, nah, whatever, it's fine. It's just one scene. I'm not gonna get all bent out of shape over
I
it.
don't get bent out of shape on it, but it did. I
Mhm.
was just like, oh, they did a thing there, instead of like, this was not the most direct route to like complete the narrative in the perfect way. They went around. They made a little detour here to please a group.
Well, they
And-
kind of did that with the introduction of all the people coming back from the snap. You know, they kind of did that, and
We needed them.
We needed them, but we didn't need them all to line up and hit superhero poses. Like they didn't go straight into battle or anything.
It was
just
pure fan service.
I
Like
loved
the last
it. I
hour
love
was just
that.
pure fan service, but it was
Sure.
good. It was fan service really well done. But
I
Yeah.
agree, and I loved it. But so maybe if I was the audience that saw the girls all line up, and I'd think, yeah, that's cool too.
Gwyneth Paltrow. If you remove Gwyneth Paltrow, I'm fine with the rest. How about
Didn't
that?
Gwyneth Paltrow kill like 13% of all the major villains?
She
in
killed
that?
she killed 2 out of like 9 of the villains in the whole Marvel universe, because she killed the guy in Iron Man. This is
Iron
going.
Man.
We may be going into nerdy territory.
Maybe so, but I'm saying people are acting like Iron Man's wife doesn't belong there, when in
Pepper
reality, Pepper Potts. She's killed more people than Thor. Maybe.
I'll allow it. Probably
All right.
not, probably
Well-
not though. Thor seems pretty bloodthirsty. He's
Thor
my
got
favorite. I'm
Thanos
looking.
and no one else, I think.
Love and
I
Thunder
saw-
looks incredible. The trailer for that looked incredible.
Yes,
I'm a
it
big Taika
does.
Waititi fan too. So I mean, I
Yeah.
think Ragnarok is in like my